Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss Coinbase's massive hack and their response to it. We're going to talk about Tether's entry into AI, taking on the big dogs there, and multiple runners on the Believe launchpad. Easy. How you making out today? Launch coin, Max. You've been in the trenches. How you been feeling? How you been living? You look tired.
Dude, I just woke up late. The issue was I was playing Warzone late. I've been on such a Warzone grind, and it's been like nice to be able to turn my brain off and play video games for a little bit. I hit massive on YAPPER yesterday, like massive. I saw the Pasternak test token launch, and everyone was like, "How did he just launch a token without tweeting?" So I felt something was going to be like setting up for that. I didn't know if it was going to be this like the day after, because they did Noodle 2 days ago. You got YAPPER yesterday. Both of those were very good cooks. Like you had a chance to buy into those sub 2 mil on YAPPER. You had a chance to get into Noodle sub 1 mil and like make good trades. So I got into YAPPER yesterday. I wish I put more in it. Obviously, you always do. Sold around 20 mil.
Can I slow down 1 second? What did you see? Like, how did you initially see YAPPER? And what like allowed you to get in that first like 5-10 minutes?
Because what I first saw was it was a real website, right? Real site. Token was launched without a tweet. So none of the trading bots had the tweet linked. And I was like, that's weird. Something here is going on. Because launch coin, you have to either tweet or it has to be like a curated launch. So like Noodle was a tweet at the bot that launched it. YAPPER was not. But I like the site for YAPPER because it's like a deep fake AI thing. Someone did one of Clemente, someone did one of me. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Like the website's legit. There's a business model here. This person's like real, you know? Mm-hmm. And to me, that was where I was like, okay, let's take a fly. Let's take a flyer on it and see what happens. And I say a flyer, but like I threw a decent bag at it because I was like, I'd seen the Pasternak test token earlier in the day without a tweet. Made me be like, okay, this feels good. Like, this is probably what he was testing, was like how to launch a token without the tweet, because he's aware of all the bots and snipers that are basically just destroying launch coin launches.
Have you seen this one? This is a Bodoggo. I saw this morning, not realizing it was tied to YAPPER.
I've been diving deep into the crypto space, and I honestly think Bodoggo's NFTs are currently the best asset in any market. A lot of my colleagues are saying they're leading the future of finance and science. Seriously, Bodoggo's is out here building. Clemente dances, Nick pisses off normies easy as a butthole, and Pio owns more Bitcoin than Michael Saylor. What else do you need? Need some kicks? We've got them. Need some signal? We've got her too. Need some Ray? You betcha. Who needs the stock market when you've got Doggo's NFTs? They're saving the world one bark at a time.
I saw that.
This reminds me of Cameo, but with deep fakes. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Because I've never really been a big fan of like dupe, which is like duplicate furniture. I guess some people are, but that thing's sitting at like a 30 mil market cap. So I was like, I thought this would actually flip dupe. It didn't, which like led to me cutting a little bit later than I wanted to. But yeah, I don't know. I had a big win on this. I was very happy about it.
So where did you first see this token?
My entry was 1.6 mil.
All right. So where did you see it? Like, were you scanning actively and you saw it? Like, was it Believe Scan? Was it?
No. So I have like a Believe scan up. So I see every launch that happens. The thing was, since this wasn't a tweet, none of the scanners picked it up. But what did pick it up was the trading bots because of the volume. So it was still a radium pool. So you still had that. And so when that happened, I was like, oh, what the hell is that? Like it came out the gate so fast. Someone said, nope, bro's an insider. No, I'm also in group chats where people are doing $1 million, like $1 million of due diligence every minute. So like they were talking about it as well. I was like quickly trying to look at the site to see what it was. They came out and were like, holy shit, this is a curated launch. It has to be. And a lot of them didn't buy into like 4 or 5 mil. My gut instinct was just buy. Like, just don't even think about it. If you get rugged on it, you get rugged. Which is also why like I didn't put as much as I probably should have. That's like the big thing. There's like I love the idea of like me being an insider on this. There's no way in fuck Nikita Beer and Ben Pasternak are talking to me.
Like, I mean, Nikita Beer is out here just replying to Bodoggo's. I mean, I see the connection, to be honest.
like, dude, there's no way in hell they're gonna give any sort of information on any of their drops and risk making the $4 million they made today. Trust me, if I had insider, the Bodogos would have gotten it. They would have gotten it. That's the issue. This thing came out the gates way too hot, and I don't want to share something that's already up 10,000%.
Yeah.
I like to give the dogs 48 hours to enter into something.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any Bodogo can complain at this point. After that launch coin thesis that ended up playing out absolutely perfectly. Nikita Beer responding to your bait video here is so good, Clemente.
Wicked funny.
He actually DM'd me like a pretty long message about what they're working on, like the sniper stuff.
So Clemente
is an insider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Found the insider, found the link. Low level insider.
We'll see if I can keep DMing with him.
So he DM'd you?
Yeah, I mean, he like sent me multiple messages. I responded.
Read them out loud.
No, he was just talking about what they're like, basically the sniper issue, which I pointed out in that video. He was like, yeah, that's like the biggest problem we have right now. And it's like really bad because he said like 2 of their featured launches or their featured coins on their thing were like heavily sniped, which screwed up a lot of that. And he said they found a fix, but it's going to take a few days to build it. And yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I
So
mean,
the biggest thing I responded to him, I was like, yeah, that's going to be great. Like, I don't think anyone has figured out a like fair launch mechanism because snipers are just eating right now. So it's just screwing up all of your charts.
virtuals.
Yeah. What I responded to him with was also like the biggest problem is right now there's this amount of like capital that just flows from new thing to new thing. Right. And
it's a rotation market. You like can't believe in anything.
So what I told him is like, dude, that like the reality of is all of these charts are going to be down only. But I think there will be like 3 to 5 really interesting projects that come out.
It's the same thing like what happened with virtuals though.
Well, it's exactly what he responded to you in your tweet. Like it's exactly what he responded, right? Isn't that like
some startups work, some startups work. Launch coins are a scam. Like he's right. Not all startups work.
But the thing is, 99% of the things that are being launched are not startups. They're garbage. They're masked with the idea to extract. They're being masked as a startup, with the idea being to extract as much capital as possible.
Right. The issue is like you have 2 options. You have a curated like VC type launch pad where they're looking through deal flow and only allowing people in and getting it, or you have just the open source scalable. Anybody can launch on here. Here's the model.
I think anyone should be able to launch. The thing that I told him, I'm like, dude, there's actual real capital of people that want to buy. There's appetite in the market for people that believe in this concept, like myself. But I have zero interest in buying most, if not all, of these tokens. What I would like I'm down to buy something and hold it.
Launch a ticker.
Sorry,
FOMO Hour just launched a ticker.
I don't know. Did they?
Sorry, I'm.
Anyways, I told him, I was like, dude, if you guys should actually from a high level perspective, focus more on highlighting the builders that are doing cool stuff and surfacing those versus, because that's going to attract new capital and people that will actually be willing to hold this thing versus like just solving for snipers is not necessarily going to solve like people just launching fake businesses. Alex Becker apparently launched did he launch his coin?
Supposedly he posted a CA on Instagram, but his I've been going back and forth on this all morning. He posts in his description that he would never post on Instagram. My official assets, x.com, ZSS Becker, YouTube, he links it. I will not drop anything on my Instagram. I don't want you depraved lunatics following me there anyway. But then in one of his videos titled "These 13 Tiny AI Crypto Coins Will 85x in May," he holds up this exact gun.
He just tweeted an hour ago.
Yeah.
Did you launch MMD? Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's at 2.6 mil. Like if it a lot of people think it's a hack, but if it is his, this goes like way higher. My concern is like, as it is.
Right, Clemente. So what's your solution to having it both be decentralized and to avoid rugs?
No, I think the rugs are going to be basically unavoidable. Like it's literally impossible. What I'm saying is I would like to actually just be surfaced the ones like there's probably 1% of these or whatever, 0.1% per day that are actually interesting. I want to be surface those. Like I don't mind buying a premium on something and being late to it, but I have no idea how to find these. And most people like don't have the time to just look at the Believe app all day.
Well, isn't that just go to BelieveScreener.com and look at the highest market caps, and that's your filter?
I was looking at that, but like
this is your filter, right?
This doesn't tell me anything.
It tells you the top market cap coins. You can
no. What I want is like from a high level, showing me the people that are building interesting stuff, like on Twitter, quote tweeting or highlighting, being like, "Hey, this is an interesting launch," from the actual business model perspective. Like, go down on GoonCoin. This doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah.
Like, you have to go in and like, I'm not going to do that with 10 different things. Right.
Right.
But if there was something,
the market inefficiency at that point, like you're not making money at that point because, you just become.
The way I'd make money on it is just holding it longer than everyone else because I'm willing to hold it for multiple months and DCA as the product, as the attention goes down.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough proposition on these. Like we saw what happened the first time we had internet capital markets. Like if you do that on any of those coins, you're fucked.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm not interested in like any of these. Not any of them, but like that's why I'm not like I thought that Yapper thing was interesting, but it ran to 10 mil in less than an hour.
Yeah. My major concern with these is none of these
have highlighting them. That's what's going to happen. Like they're like, hey, this is one of our highlighted ones. Here's the information. It's going to run to 10 mil. None of these,
not a single one of these has a reason to have a token. That's my big concern right now.
That's the same thing with all of these tokens though, right? Like,
but the thing that I'm bullish on for it and why I think like we need to pay attention to this market is just purely because of this tweet. Once this goes live, it becomes inherently more interesting. Like
it's going to be the same problem though, where all of these guys are going to just unlock all of those things and be like, yo, airdrop, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to unlock all those things just to get more attention. And they're not like, it's not going to actually make a difference.
Well, the thing is that they're incentivized to drive volume to the token. So if they can build their app in a way that drives volume to the token, which is good for token price, then they make money.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the thought process is like, hey, they have a model. They can monetize in two ways now. They can monetize via traditional means, or they can monetize via introducing token liquidity, token incentives. So if you find a product, like Easy saying he was looking at Noodle, he's like, okay, I can fit a token. Like I can create a mental model where this app can use a token. They're not using it now, but I can create a mental model in a way that, okay, I can see how this creator can then introduce a token into this ecosystem, which then would drive volume to the token, basically benefiting the token itself and then the creator.
And same with Yapper. Like that's the other one where I'm like, oh, it's credits. You could use a token as credits for the app. Like if you can curate an idea of how the token can fit into the app, it becomes more interesting. Dupe is the one I struggle with. Like that's the one that's at 30 mil, 20 mil now. I can't figure out where and how a token plays into it, but everyone's like, it has 1 million users. I'm like, okay, it explicitly says you don't get equity into the company because of the token. Like, so this is the hardest one for me to be like, how does this make any sense? You know, like that one for me is very difficult to understand.
I'd rather have an app that's successful that has nothing to do with the token and just have the token as an attention proxy to it. I'd be more interested in that than like trying to integrate the token into the business model.
I think the token should be integrated.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, I think token needs to be integrated because now what you're saying is as an attention model, you just complained that this whole space is no different than any other meme coin, which is why I want to see a difference. I want to see something that's inherently different. Like if there's a reason for the token to exist, token price should go up. That is the whole thesis for basically every token in every market. Because if it's just an attention market, everything loses attention. Go look at Please, go look at Routine, go look at Ice Bucket Challenge. They're all at fucking zero.
It's all going to zero. It's all going to zero.
But what if it doesn't?
All of these projects that have Like,
You've been hanging out with Pio too much.
no,
You
it's
gotta
like,
believe in
dude,
something,
all of
dude.
these things. The
It's
thing
all
with
going
this,
to zero. Buy more
Bro,
MicroStrategy. Buy more
but
Bitcoin.
you're inherently, these businesses are incentivized to launch as fast as possible, launch a coin, and then they're not ever going to actually get to these customers. Like, how
They're
soon are these guys
incentivized
actually
get
going to
their
launch
customers to buy the token though, because the teams own zero supply. They own nothing. Their entire incentive is to drive volume to the token. So if you create sinks for people to use it, that's more volume, which in turn is more revenue.
I will say, I think the only person that can make a sync here is Launchcoin, which is what Virtuals did essentially with their whole ecosystem. To try and have an individual app drive enough volume is quite a difficult task. It also adds a degree of inefficiency in the overall user flow, because there's not we don't have an example of someone. When you talk about syncs, name any product that's had any crypto integration where there's a quote sync of the token, basically, where it's just being spent. Other than, I guess, the Ponzi scheme ones were interesting because those had built-in syncs where you would go buy the product to yield more of the token that you were mining.
But now if you take out that yield and give a reason, my whole thought here is with Noodle. I go back to Noodle because that's the easiest one for me to make sense of. It's a player versus player game. If you can incentivize users to use the token to buy into the game, add ads into the game, there's your revenue generating system in order for people to play, to make money by eating each other in the game to earn their capital or their coins. A percentage of that gets taken off as the fee for the house. There's stuff like that where
then
I'm
the
like,
token. What happens when the
way more-
token goes down 99%? The token's down 90%, then it's just cooked. Or if it goes up that much, then it's like, okay, I got to pay $80 to play this game.
Well, you end up needing to have eventually it all needs to.
scale.
You make
It ends
you
up-
convert
be a flat
USD. The
rate.
token's all back end. You don't have you're not playing a Noodle token. You're just basically they're using Noodle token as a driver. So you can algorithmically peg Noodle token to the game, keep the game at whatever value you want to keep it at. You're just burning that amount of Noodle token.
This is all theoretical. We haven't seen an example is the biggest problem. There's also one other issue with this whole thing. The way they position this token, or when you go launch something on their launch pad, is basically this token cannot do anything.
Yeah, I did see the TOS is a big concern.
Which is then hey, so this token can't do anything, and now they're let's go build things so this token can do something, because that's in their mind the only thing that can actually add value. In the case of Pump Fund and all these other places, it's just the token will never do anything, basically, except for Trump token, which is a weird one. They offered actual utility
doing stuff. You can get lunch with the guy, and now they're supposedly rolling out other stuff for it, which I'm like, this is crazy. They have more utility for the Trump token than any NFT project ever had.
Except the Trump NFT project.
No, they got you dinners and events.
No,
dude,
the Trump NFT project did the same thing as Ray's saying, and I think there were some NFTs that tried to do it. The problem was we've seen this playbook play out where eventually the utility was not the friends you made along the way, and hopefully you sold at the top, because the perceived value, the prices that these run up to end up being unreasonable. Right now, Launchcoin is worth $1 billion. Virtuals is worth what? Sorry. Launchcoin is worth a couple $100 million. Sorry. Virtuals is worth
250. Virtuals is 1.4.
Yeah.
Launchcoin's 312 now.
Oh, it's pumping.
Yeah.
Damn, let's fucking go.
This morning it was 240.
Yep.
Look, this should be worth as much as Virtuals in theory if they can build that flywheel. But again, this is all speculative shit. There's no actual. But if you're going to take that route, you basically might as well just get mad about crypto. Basically, because the price of everything is unreasonable.
This is the Virtuals flywheel, and they can still implement a good amount of these different.
This is a Ponzi. by the way, for what it's
Yeah.
worth. I'm going to be brutally honest. I love virtuals. It's awesome to see. You only get more of these launches by holding and never selling.
Exactly.
Like that is how they reward you. That is
Right.
what it is. Like,
So yeah, Believe can do these same things. Though. It's like, hey, if you buy more of these Believe tokens, you can participate in the next like round or featured round of somebody launching. And then they have these different rounds where they're not just released to market. Like you have to opt in. You stake tokens from different Believe tokens at launch. That's not utility directly within the app, but say you bought Noodle opts into their program, you can stake Noodle to earn better launchpad rewards.
What sort of holder? That's manipulating people to buy and essentially eat up a portion of the supply and just hold it, basically, which is essentially lock up the token.
Everything is manipulating somebody to buy the token. The goal is to get people to buy.
No. I'm not saying to buy the token. I'm saying to lock up the token. But it's not just to buy. It's to limit the supply, which is the main factor here. Like a lot, if you look at NFT projects that have 3,000 instead of 10,000 or whatever the number is, it does have a measurable impact. But there were so many of these launching. The majority of this stuff is crap. But Clemente is not old enough. He was a wee young boy in 2017. You know,
bro, the ICO craze put this to shame. Literal shame.
Well,
like,
I don't know if that one put this to shame or it's inverted, basically, where this one is like you're getting money for literal landing pages, whereas the other one, you were getting money for landing pages with
landing
videos.
pages and white papers. This one you're getting
And
money
videos.
for. Yeah, and videos. This one you're getting money for vibe coded websites. Like
I think
slightly different sauce on the same pizza here. That's all it is. Like it's all the same fucking bullshit, just wrapped in a different skin. The thing though is, Clemente, like my argument against this is I think this ecosystem is going to I think scroll up a little bit on this page. That total market cap goes above $1 billion. I think there's still juice in the orange to squeeze. And I think passing on it is the worst way to trade it.
Yeah, and getting mad at it is stupid. Because
he got a Nikita Beard DM for getting mad at it. So who really won?
I guess easy. Sorry, I guess Clemente.
Clemente got the DM.
No, I know. He almost crashed in my apartment, so that's the DM I got. I offered him an apartment.
That's sick.
He didn't want it. Wasn't in the location he wanted.
Too poor.
He wanted it in Soho.
Oh, of course.
Clemente, you haven't said much since we went on this.
Since we started attacking you.
No, I find it. I actually don't care about token sinks. I don't care about any of that. I think if they actually build a successful business, it's going to get attention either way. It's going to get attention. Like if they see just how everyone is Launchcoin. What does the token have anything to do with Launchcoin right now? Nothing. You're speculating that that's going to have utility, but people are buying the token because they're like, oh my God, they made $4 million yesterday. If you get a business that has no integration with the token and they're just like, hey, we crowdsource this, and because of the capital that we raised, we're able to do this, this, and this. Boom, we just made our first big sale. We made 100K yesterday. People will 100% buy that token because of that. I have no doubt in my mind.
I feel like when people do things and they release revenue numbers, that's bearish generally on tokens. When you can attach a real value to a token, that's bearish. That hurts.
Never high enough,
right?
That's my stance. That's my stance.
What's this stupid stance?
All right, well, let's move on.
We've got lots to talk about today. Today's show is brought to you in partnership with dYdX.
Fucking bullshit, man.
Speaking about yapping, we're going to do some dYdX yapping. I'm doing my dYdX yapping on the timeline. They just partnered with Kaito for a YAPPER leaderboard. Easy's up here, 1.45% of dYdX mindshare. I'm jumping in. I'm trying to pump my own mindshare on dYdX. Entered in a Kaito trade. We took a little short yesterday on Kaito, this morning on Kaito after talking about it on the show yesterday with my thesis. If you're looking to get on the Kaito leaderboard, it is as easy as trading, sharing a thesis, posting a picture. It takes 2 seconds. You can earn a piece of their rewards. 50K in rewards paid out each month for the next 3 months for Kaito Yappers, talking about dYdX. Easy as that. And you have even more to talk about. They have their Surge program going on right now. $20 million in rewards going out over the next 8 months. They released 1.8 million to about 2,800 traders. So do the math there on amount per trader. So if you're trading on dYdX, you're jappening about them, you're increasing your expected value. So if you need to sign up for dYdX, do so today. Bodoggos.com/dYdX. Check them out. Check out what they're building. We love partnering with them. We have a ton of fun trading. Easy's been running up that trading account. We'll show you that later in the week. But just want to give one big shout out to dYdX. Thanks again. Make sure you yap on the timeline. We spent a lot of time talking. Clemente, you want to do, or Nick, you want to do a weather report?
I'll do a fucking weather report,
weather
and I'll bring the energy that this show deserves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick, Nick, before you do, Clemente, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Sidelined?
I am sidelined. I think most likely if I bought some tokens yesterday and I actually made a few soul, but if I had gotten into launch coin early, my perspective would probably be, no, it'd probably still be the same, except I would be making money on it. The problem is right now you 100% can make money from it. 1,000%. If you're in the trenches, this should be 1,000% what you're doing. My problem is I have no idea how to trade it because I know I'm getting information later than everybody else. And I don't know how to identify like valuing these things properly is my only thing.
They're all worth 5 million minimum.
Like with the social media stuff, I found a pocket where I'm like, ooh, this is finally where I have some sort of I feel like I have an
And you
advantage.
haven't had a single trade.
Since then, the last 3 weeks, I'm like, dude, I have no idea how to trade these meme coins. I feel so disconnected.
No, but I'm saying there hasn't been a social media one that's been worth popping up, basically.
I've just been sitting here. When it comes, ooh, Shaboy's going to be all over it.
Okay.
Shaboy is going to be just going hard on that, man.
Nick is looking very Miami today, Mr. Yellow. Said it. I've never known anyone.
All my clothes are in the dry cleaner right now.
He's wearing a very nice Miami Vice type style shirt, it looks like here. Nice little Hawaiian, looking good.
Let's go.
Is that Casablanca?
Mr. 305. No, this is Blue Sky Inn, a cheap version of Casablanca. But Casablanca, I bought one of their coats. It's all polyester.
Yeah, your balls get small.
Dude, what's up with all these clothes being polyester on the high-end brands? That to me is the biggest scam that exists. It's a bigger scam than Launchcoin. Let's dive into the weather report. I don't have the music. Anybody got the music?
I got it.
Do.
It's Thursday, May 15th. Welcome to the weather report. Looking over at the crypto roundup, majors fell on the day with Bitcoin at 102,500, ETH at 2550, and Solana back down to 170. Devastation for those holding on to the majors right now. Way off of the top by 2%. Over the past 24 hours, Coinbase disclosed a data breach stemming from bribed customer support agents. Incredible. That's the game right there. While user passwords and private keys were not exposed, personal data was leaked, leading to social engineering attacks. Coinbase rejected a $20 million ransom, instead offering a $20 million bounty for information leading to the arrest of the hackers. Wow, you tried to blackmail fucking Coinbase? Come on, bro. Next up, Tether released more details on QVAC, an open source AI initiative with native blockchain support. The AI model and user data will all be owned locally by users and will have native crypto access via Tether's software development kit. If anybody figure out what the fuck any of this means, please let me know, because this has been one of the most confusing things that I've seen. Congrats to them on getting into AI. I don't get it. Finally, it was a bullish day for crypto exchanges as eToro IPO'd and began trading on NASDAQ. The stock and crypto trading app gained almost 30% on the day, closing out at $67. Absolute insane. Incredible day, though. Most of the action was coming from the launch coin space, now pumping up at around 314 million. eToro and pre-market trading down 4.5%, 3.4%, 4.5%.
Market's just opened, so it's down.
It's down 4.5%.
Excellent weather report, Nick, as always.
Well, I don't do it that often. And hold on one second. I think I got a phone call coming in.
All right, so we just hold the show?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, he's like, yo, guys, hold on.
Yo, it's your mom. No, I'm just kidding. Let's dive in.
Down 5.5. Stocks. Let's take a look
6%,
at
down 6%.
Oh shit. Mayday,
Seven.
Mayday.
What we didn't discuss was UnitedHealth. Pull up that ticker. How's that doing today?
Not great. We can talk about a random healthcare ticker, I suppose.
Holy shit. Wow. You could have shorted this yesterday. That's crazy. Yo, shout out to Choose Rich Live dropping the alpha. If you'd traded on that information, you would have made a substantial sum. Wow, this company is are we gonna have health insurance in a few days?
I hope.
They're under investigation for Medicare fraud, and the CEO got replaced. So
is that the guy that got Luigi'd?
Yeah,
the guy who got killed.
The one before him. The one before him. Not
oh
the new
my
one,
god.
The new one.
And then the new one stepped down.
Yeah, the new one stepped down. The old one got Luigi'd.
Oh my god.
The next one's getting Mario'd.
Nafald. I don't know.
Okay. So,
not a great
this
chart.
is crazy. How much fraud was there? That's the real question. Why is this price down?
The 65-year-old got absolutely destroyed.
What are you talking about?
Isn't it Medicare and Medicaid? That's what the fraud was?
Dude, what they're doing is my assumption, the fraud they're doing is making up claims and receiving money from the government.
Dude, that's not even fraud. That's just a good, positive CFO.
The question is like, how illegal was this, and what percentage of their revenue was coming from Medicare fraud? Medicare fraud is a very risky activity to participate in. Trust me, like I considered it.
Experience.
Yeah, we talked about it. It was like a different revenue generating opportunity for us.
For Bodogos.
Yeah.
We were going to pass
opening
some of
up a stretching place like what Clemente goes to and just absolutely racking it up.
I go there. It's one of the most inefficient businesses to run as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but like we wouldn't actually run the business. We would just commit fraud.
Got it. Okay, so when people come in and say, stretch me out, you say, go fuck yourself. I'm committing fraud.
Well, the address is just a P.O. box, so it's not like they can go anywhere.
I mean, this is an insane situation. I don't know how to even, like, all the people in the replies are like, I mean, is this not a good buy right here? The PE is 10. But I'm like, I don't know. What is the implications? I have no idea. I mean, it just continues to fucking drop. The amount of money that's been wiped off this fucking company in the past, literal since April 16th in 1 month. It actually went as high as 600 basically. And now it's down at 259. That's an insane situation. I mean, can you believe that?
I cannot believe it. You want to talk about any other equities unrelated to crypto, like Pinterest or maybe payroll, anything like that?
They went from $500 billion down to $237 billion. They were at $555 billion. That's literally over $300 billion wiped off the map. I just want to point out how substantial that is. Fall from grace. How's Robinhood looking? Not like this chart.
The weekly looks excellent. You can see what we're looking like at open. Open.
Oh.
3%. I think everything across the board is falling on open. Pre-markets are down 0.5% across the board for Dallas.
So I was watching this video yesterday, and Easy was talking about, I think we have a pullback. That was what he said the other day. And one of the charts, or one of the guys I was listening to, was basically talking about, including like for Bitcoin, for example, the Bitcoin could pull back to like 60. The number that he had drawn up was something like 67K. But what you would get in Q4 is an insane run back up to like 130, basically, or 140.
Elliott wave theory.
Elliott wave theory. That's what
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Or he used a butterfly on the chart.
So they're basically the same thing. The butterfly just has top and bottom versus one single line. But yeah, it would put us at like the Elliott wave would have us like 68 to 70, basically, which would then cause for a parabolic run in like a very short time. You basically have like a 30-day run where Bitcoin basically 2x's.
And so he was he had called this before. I'll look at the name of the guy because you can go watch the video yourself. But he was basically pointing out the value of the net value of ETH was how he was pricing Ben Cohen.
Ben's good. I like Ben. I like a lot of his stuff.
Ben had a 46-minute video. I mean, it was exhaustive. Like you're gonna have to like sit through it to like really, because he's basically
co-founder of Ben and Jerry's.
Yes, exactly. Benjamin Cohen, and it's Cowen. Not clear if he's Jewish.
Not clear.
It could be Cowen. But basically, he you should check out his YouTube, and the video is called Ethereum Dubious Speculation. What are we talking about?
Did he get thrown out of a congressional here?
I don't believe so. This guy's fucking. What are we talking about?
That'd be kind of funny. Clemente, what are you interested in, man?
Dude, I don't know. I like feel really out of touch with the current market.
Clemente went all in on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dominance topped.
Dude went all in on MicroStrategy and Bitcoin, and we started getting an alt rally.
No, I think I missed the launch coin meta, and it like I'm really shocked by the amount of let's go. I was caught off guard by just how fast we would be back in the meme coin side of things. Like unreal how fast, like it showed a lot of strength. I don't find, the thing is, I don't really, mistakes I've made in the past was when something comes back or there's a meta, I try to chase it and I just get wrecked. So I'm trying to be patient and like not FOMO into this launch coin stuff and just kind of sit on my hands and not try to make too many trades.
I mean, that's a smart thing. I'm gonna say that's a good idea. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable at the current launch coin level. I was projecting 1 billion, but with them changing things, and there's a lot of reasons to FUD this. Virtual has been performing pretty well in recent days. It's not outperforming Launchcoin on the timeline, but the ticker's done okay. And they have a different flywheel. So I don't know, but running into this, it's like Launchcoin has so much hype right now, right out the gate. And I think what's pent up is basically all the people that rocked Pump Fun from months ago to then into the meme coin bear are just desperate for something to fucking take off, basically. And they're racing to try and recoup the losses that they absorbed over the past few months because their behavior is just purely degenerate. We were discussing that. I was discussing this with Pio yesterday. Like, my percentage of my bags that are in meme coins, it's increased right now because of the launch coin stuff. But it's still I mean, 10% max, like, of my entire crypto portfolio. Well, my total portfolio. I don't know about my.
Which is like not nothing. Like 10% is still pretty like
Yeah, it's
substantial.
substantial, but it's not. But a lot of the people that you run into are 50+% exposed to meme coins, and there's people who I saw. There's people who I saw who basically, what was I gonna say? Like would use leverage to trade up different things and end up with a portfolio of like $10 million, $20 million, all trading leverage. And they were just, rocking the charts, making all the good calls. And all those people end up getting wrecked. They'll go
one
from,
bad trade and you chase. It's exactly what I did in the ICO meta. I ran up 15K to like 650K when I was like, what, 22? Like that's insane money at that age. Like,
yeah.
And you're spending it, you have lifestyle creep, and then all of a sudden you have a fucking shitty couple days and you're at zero. So it's like,
Yeah.
because it's at that point, the number means so little and it's a dopamine that you continue to try to stack the win over and over too.
Well, it's also a behavior, the risk that you had to take in order to get to the place that gave you all that leverage is the same risk and mentality that ends up undermining you, basically.
Yeah,
And
your bet sizing increases every time. That's the thing too, is like in order to get to that point, if you were betting, say, $100 on every trade and you ran it up to 10 grand and you start sizing up to $1,000 every trade, one bad loss and you are exponentially down worse than you could possibly imagine.
I'm going to be honest, there's a large percentage of our audience that's this over 50% exposed to audience. And all of them that are listening right now, I just want to let you all know you're losers. Okay. I just want you to understand that if you guys keep with that fucking attitude, you're never going to win. You come over to me, you get a little bit of coaching from Choose Rich Nick. You get a little bit of tough love from me. I'm going to let you know what's going on and how you got to clean up that act. Okay. Because a lot of you are making fucking awful life decisions. People just abandoning a career. Don't even want it. People that make a few $1 million and suddenly they're just like, yo, your boy's retired. I'm done. Never getting a job again on a few milli. I mean, are you living the FIRE lifestyle?
I got a buddy who does that. He's like 32, was early at Uber. He's one of the FIRE guys. He lives in like a 78 square foot tiny home and drives like a 2010 Corolla.
So the FIRE lifestyle is better than, I guess, the Degens. I don't know which one's better, actually. I'm going to compare them because the FIRE lifestyle is also like you're living off the fat of the land. You're trying to get off, like you're not getting nice clothes. You're not getting any like nice anything. You're saving a bunch of money. Rainbow Kook definitely got impact. Tori Han, loser. I'll say it to your face, Tori. The fat FIRE is the one that you want. You want to figure out how to retire on 20 milli. You know, how to like live that lifestyle. You know, how many maids are necessary? How many homes should I have? But dude, all these people in Miami that are like, they're like perfect examles of people just living to the max. They're on fucking
it's my favorite thing in the world. I watched this one kid's video on YouTube about like he's a Miami guy, does like ads, like Facebook ads, dropped like a vlog. I watched it and now all of my videos are like 20-year-old Miami penthouse organic drop shipping living. And I watched it like 4 minutes. I was like, oh, these kids are fucked. Like they're like, yeah, just rented a boat tonight. We going to 11. Oh, and I'm driving Lamborghinis tomorrow. And here's how I made $630 today. I'm like, oh.
Wait, 630?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, so.
Okay, well that's crazy.
Not laughing here.
But I will say maybe they rented those because
that's 100% what it was, but that's still more than 630 in a day.
Well, but they're trying to sell the course.
Always.
Yeah, it's marketing for their their course.
Rainbow Kook says still in love with you, Nick. Fuck you, Rainbow. You're a loser. I'm just kidding. But that is like the large portion of this audience, and it's the same people. This is where things get weird with Launchcoin and Clemente's whole frustration associated with it is valid. The people buying these tokens are Degens. The people buying OSF's drink are Degens trying to get a token, basically. What happens is when you cater to that audience, you have to build a Ponzi. That's the only option that you can do. And then eventually the thing will collapse. Like it just inevitably will. The people buying Bored Ape and Mutants at one point, we were all part of that Ponzi. It was just when timing it when you got out, basically. So I just think like the exact same thing exists here. The reason these prices are pumping is because they tapped the Degen audience. The Degen audience wasn't interested in the last version of this app. They explored it and they said no. The only way you can get a pump to that level is if the Degen audience that's literally spending all day trading meme coins suddenly decides to run over and buy this stuff. But that same audience does not want to hold on to long-term investments in a company, which this quote isn't, but is supposed to be. I mean, that is the problem. That's the thing that everybody wants to see. That would be the most valuable thing is if you could trade the stocks of private companies on a daily basis. That would be the best thing that would be possible, and there is no legislation around it. But the moment that you offer value, suddenly that becomes illegal. But it's absolutely fucking ridiculous because the entire financial system, dude, how is I saw one of the quote ads for one of the gambling apps during the game yesterday, the Celtics-Knicks game. And it's literally, dude, they have the fucking guys, Shaq and everybody else sitting there basically being like, what's your pick? And then they make the pick and then it's like, bet money. And they're literally saying, bet, like, how is that any better?
It's crazy. Like, dude, that's the thing that's that's basically my entire Robinhood thesis, besides the point. But big fan of the gambling. But it's also just that is, in my opinion, gambling is just as risky as trading. If anything, there's more thesis that goes into some levels of trading. The meme coin stuff, I'd say gambling probably is a better edge. As crazy as that sounds. You pick one of two teams.
1,000%.
You got a 50-50 shot they win. And
meme
coins
10,000. Yeah, and meme coins. Well, gambling isn't propped as a way to earn income and replace your 9 to 5.
Meme coins is just inside information. If you know a big buyer is coming, or that you know that there's a catalyst, and like large influencers about to start tweeting this thing and run a campaign on it, those are one of the two things that basically are going to pump that token. Sorry, what were you going to say, Izzy?
I was just agreeing with you. I was going to say meme coins feel more like the parlays. Like someone who takes out a 14-leg parlay and can turn $10 into 1,000. Because dude, I have buddies back home. They gamble every day. $20, $30 every single fucking day. Whenever there's I had one buddy who was betting every Major League Baseball game if a run would be scored in the first inning. That is straight up meme coins.
Yeah, but he's not viewing it. He's like, okay, I just it's partially entertainment, but it's partially also
when they go on a heater, they view it as an opportunity where if this continues, I can stop worrying about work for sure. Because now they have $5 extra grand.
That's the promise of all this. At the end of the day, is there is somebody who ends up making a fortune. This space is the exact same thing.
Well, it's $1 million P&L, and it's oh, I can do that too. That is the thesis for a lot of people.
Well, to be fair, multiple people on this show, if not everybody, has had major wins at some point in meme coins that has
100%.
outstripped pretty much any average daily gambler. The average daily gambler is not making 20K wins on something, $50,000 wins, $100,000 wins. That's just not happening. $1 million wins. That's not happening to the average person, which is why this space is completely different. I mean, I made over $1 million, almost $2 million on Bored Ape Yacht Club. So that's insane. That doesn't make that. You couldn't do that in gambling. You can, There's who's the guy that has all the tattoos on his face that we met briefly at one of the karate combats that he's like banned from casinos. Massey, what? Mickey, whatever. That guy like goes in and can consistently win in the casino, but I don't know. I just think like
there's stuff that he might be a scammer, and that none of what he says is actually true. So like that's the other side of it. Granted, like dude, the people who hit big on meme coins also get called scammers. So it's like at the end of the day, it's one side or the other. To me, the bigger thing here is like it's a lot of it too is like, oh yeah, shout out Stu Feiner, T-Board20. That's another one who Barstool hired the guy for being a gambler. But I just think like I do think there will be a market for private equity at some point. When, I don't know. Like Echo's doing an interesting thing with it, but you have to be an accredited investor. So like I don't know if we'll ever just get retail involved in it. But at the same time, it's just crazy that we let like the average person or just literally someone fresh out of high school to trade options when they have zero concept of what that even means. They just see number goes up more.
Oh yeah, it doesn't make sense. I think you can be 16 and do it if I'm
You need a
being
custodial
honest.
account. So if you're 16, you need a custodial account in order to have like, because at that age, it's you're most likely getting claimed on taxes by the. There's a whole process for it, but yeah, you can at 16. Yes.
Yeah, I just tell my parents, look, I'm learning to trade stocks.
Yeah, there's
look,
ways
I'm
around
learning to trade stocks. Suck my dick.
Okay.
Keezy can vouch for this mysterious Mickey man. He's been in Vegas with him, and he is for real as hell.
That's a guy.
Yo, Keezy's boys with him.
Oh, Keezy's the strip club family guy.
Yeah.
One of our favorites in the comments on YouTube.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying. That's and that's why I've been like not touching this. Well, what I was surprised by was just exactly that. It was just how fast people were. Do you remember how much the hatred towards trenching after the Libra scam? Everyone was disgusted. Oh, meme coins are so bad for the market. Oh my God. 2 months later, 3 months later, now that these same people have an edge in the market, they're immediately back to the shilling and like believing in stuff. And we're going to do this one. Like it's just crazy to see that. And I just feel like it's gotten more along the risk curve, further along. The state of trenching right now, I have zero advantage. So I'm like, dude, what am I doing here? I'm trading less now than I was a month ago. A month ago, I felt like, okay, this is interesting. Now everything is pumping to these ungodly levels again, similar to how we saw in November, December, that I don't have an interest in like spending 8 hours a day trying to find these runners and losing money on 90% of them when I know everyone else has more of an edge than I do. I'm trying to find what the next opportunity is, though. I still like the social media thesis that I have. I like Fartcoin, right?
Bro, I don't think you can know what the next meta. You don't know what the meta is. You're just close enough that you see it when it happens. If you bought Launchcoin early on, you made money here, and really everybody had an opportunity either to fade it or to buy it.
Yeah,
because it had gone up. Like you could have bought it at 20 million. People were talking about it at that point in time.
Yeah, I mean,
so, yeah.
He had his whole thesis on Launchcoin.
Well, he posted that in the Bodagos Discord.
Right.
But that was early.
That was purely just me analyzing the market. Like I thought that trade would take a month, 6 weeks to play out. I did not expect 48 hours for it to pan out.
How did your girlfriend, though, buy the same amount as me and make twice as much?
She bought more. That's the Slingshot app doesn't account for how much you transfer in.
Oh.
So she transferred money in. The P&L is wrong.
Yeah, she just has more money than you, Nick.
Yeah. She bought like 4 or 5x what that entry was.
Yeah. She's not a bitch.
She did not sell. Like she just started taking profit like after that P&L because I was yelling at her to, if you post a screenshot of your P&L, you have to take some off the table. I was like, you don't fucking post a P&L screenshot and leave it in there. Yes, who is that? It was posted in the whale chat.
We should get Nikita to talk about this on that.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, I'll message him. I got this, guys.
No, I got it.
Nick's gonna get ghosted. Clemente is gonna be the one who brings him in. Nick's gonna be so mad he's not gonna show up. Or he comes on the show and he's like, "Hey, Clemente." And Nick's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Who are you?"
Popped in. Oh, Clemente, good to see you. Who's the rest of these guys?
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna do it for today's episode. It's 10 o'clock.
Really
I hope you guys have a
quickly,
great day.
really
We'll be
quickly,
back tomorrow. I won't be here. Have fun.
really quickly,
Bye.
really quickly. Coinbase data breach. Be aware out there. They had hackers come in and basically steal what they're saying is 1% of user data. Talked about this in the weather report. They could have part of your social, name, address, phone, email, government ID, masked bank account numbers, account data, and corporate data. So a lot of data they can potentially have. You're going to get phished if you were part of this breach. Like I get calls from Coinbase. Zach XBT was actually sharing, which is like kind of what I wanted to bring this up. He was sharing like not even 2 weeks ago. He's like, we are seeing like such a high number of Coinbase user like money stolen to like specific addresses over the last week. No other major exchanges are like are seeing this. Over 9 figures stolen from Coinbase via social engineering. So it sounds like this problem's been going on for a while. I don't know like the way that Brian Armstrong really addressed it like is good enough. Like I don't know like how they're going to fix this, because when you're onboarding the masses, like normal people, when they're getting a call from like an account and they have all this information on you, like it's really hard for them if they're not somebody who's crypto native and understands like the importance of OPSEC and how easy it is to like steal. Like it's just such a big vulnerability for a company like Coinbase where people have a lot of money.
I fell for one once, an email like a year ago, dude. Like even and I've been in crypto for 4 years now. Yeah.
Basically, they should just put a cap on how much you can withdraw without a live agent like confirming your identity.
But then the
Like-
problem is Easy tried to withdraw however much money and then his account gets flagged.
No,
It
what
wasn't-
I'm saying
It
is
wasn't even like a lot. I had withdrawn more than that before.
what I'm saying is there needs to be a threshold at which you hop on a live chat, essentially. Like, and you can configure that value if you want, but essentially, like I'm talking about like a live agent, a person, like a human seeing you are the person. They can just confirm in 2 seconds. What you end up with is like a banking style relationship in that case. But really all they need is like 5 seconds to be like, okay, yeah, that person that's like definitively this person. Because all these people are not going for like $500 withdrawals, I'm assuming. Like
Mine was like 40 grand.
that what?
That my account got flagged.
Yeah, that's a substantial amount.
But what bothered me was I had withdrawn more than that multiple times in the past month before, etc., with no issue. And that one got my account flagged, restricted,
Okay.
blocked.
Oh, you withdrew like over 100
Like
grand,
million-
like
dude, I was
easily like
withdrawing
20
shit, bro.
times.
Shit, bro. I was
I had
withdrawing
withdrawn
fucking
100K in
millions.
January to pay taxes.
Okay.
You
So
know
I
how
was
much
like,
money
yeah,
I'm fucking withdrawing right now, bro?
$67.
I'm fucking withdrawing billions, dog. And shit,
But
I
when
try
you've
to
been
withdraw.
crashing out, dude, I think you're just
Fucking
depositing money.
I shit, bro. Don't ask me how much I'm fucking. Don't be pocket watching me, boy. Yo, Ray, we wrapping this thing?
Thank you all for listening. It's been a wonderful show. Make sure you use all caution. Never answer any calls from Coinbase. Don't do anything like that. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Catch us on all major podcasting platforms. You can watch us back on YouTube. See what we're talking about in real time. Thank you all for listening. Have